Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Captain Nick Tate. We warmly welcome the family of Sergeant Alfred Lachlan Jack, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this National Memorial and Museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths of floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Alfred Lachlan Jack. Alfred Jack was born in 1881 in Christchurch, New Zealand, the son of Thomas Jack, a boilermaker from Scotland, and his wife Catherine. Alfred was educated in Christchurch and undertook an apprenticeship as a carpenter. After completing his training, he became a cabinet maker and married Ethel Priest. The couple settled in Upper Hutt near Wellington and had 2 children, Alfred Percival and Muriel. Ethel died during the birth of their second child, leaving Alfred a widower. And after his wife's death, Jack moved the family to Australia, where they settled in Melbourne. Alfred Jack was among some of the first to join the Australian Imperial Force, enlisting on the 22nd of October 1914. On enlistment, he placed his children in a Presbyterian care home. He was allocated to the 14th Battalion before spending 2 months training at the Broadmeadows camp in Victoria. Private Jack embarked on the 22nd of December 1914 on board the troop ship Berrima. During the journey, he was promoted to corporal. Reaching Egypt in January 1915, Jack's battalion joined the New Zealand and Australian Division, which would later become the Anzacs. Jack took part in the infamous landing at Gallipoli on the 25th of April 1915, marking the beginning of an 8-month-long campaign aimed at taking control of the strategic waterway known as the Dardanelles. Over the coming months, Jack's battalion was involved in consolidating and defending the Anzac front line. In August 1915, Jack was promoted in the field to sergeant after taking part in the attack at Hill 971, during which the Allies attempted to take Chunuk Bair, Hill Q and Hill 971. The attack proved costly and the Allies failed to hold their ground due to rugged terrain and inadequate planning. His next major battle came on the 21st of August when an attack was mounted at Hill 60 in what was to be the last major offensive on the Gallipoli Peninsula. Advancing troops were attempting to link the British positions at Suvla Bay with the Australian and New Zealand positions at the Anzac beachhead. Official war historian Charles Bean labelled the offensive one of the most difficult in which the Australian troops have ever been engaged. The Allies captured part of Hill 60 during their initial advance on the 21st of August. The following day, they struggled towards their objective, but were eventually pushed back. Over the course of 2 days, the Allies sustained an appalling casualty rate of 50%. On the 27th of August, another attack was mounted, which was similarly uncoordinated and poorly supported by artillery. Advancing Australians were cut down by Turkish fire in waves. By the 29th of August, little had been gained and casualties stood at more than 1,300 killed, missing or wounded. Among the dead was 34-year-old father of 2, Sergeant Alfred Lachlan Jack. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Alfred Lachlan Jack, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
If able, please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.